Well, hello everybody. This is Linda from North Central Texas. And like I said on my last video, this video is going to be all about making candied jalapenos, or otherwise known as Cowboy Candy. And I've never made this before, so it's going to be my first time. But anyway, first you'll need 2 cups of the cider vinegar. Or apple cider vinegar. That almost took my breath. That's pretty strong stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat on as I add the other stuff, so it'll go ahead and be heating up. Okay, we need 2 cups of brown sugar, and I've already got it measured out in this bowl. It's going right in there. 2 cups of white sugar, just plain granulated white sugar. 1/4 teaspoon celery seed. And let's see, we put in 1 teaspoon of turmeric. I put just a little bit less because I'm not crazy about that. And then we need 1 teaspoon garlic powder. And you needed at least 20 big jalapeno peppers. Now, I had smaller peppers, and you know I've told you that I grew various different types of hot peppers in my yard, in my garden. So I used some of my hot peppers, a mixture of all of them, and then I added 4 or 5 bell pepper and a couple of banana peppers because I want to tone the heat down a little bit. I can't eat anything that's extremely hot, so I didn't want to just use strictly the hot peppers because I wanted to tone that heat down just a little bit. Now what we're going to do is bring this to a boil, and we're going to let it simmer for about 5 minutes. That'll melt all the sugar and get everything all mixed together. And I went ahead and sliced up my jalapenos because I wanted to spare you, the headache of having to sit there and watch me cut them up. And I did use rubber gloves because I know how those jalapenos are. You get a little bit of that juice on your fingers and you touch your eyes or anything, and it's going to burn. So I did wear gloves when I cut those peppers up. And when the jalapenos that you use, if you remove the seed from the jalapenos, that'll cut the heat down just a little bit. I did remove some of the seed, not all of them, but because I don't want it extremely hot. And they call for a 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper in this. I definitely did not put any cayenne pepper in here because, like I said, I don't want it that hot. It's going to be hot enough with just the hot peppers that I've got in here. I don't need to add any heat to those hot peppers that are in there, because there's a mixture of jalapeno, serrano, the habanero. I've got cayenne peppers in there already. Like I said, there's 4 or 5 different types of hot peppers that's in there, right along with my sweet banana peppers and some sweet bell pepper to kind of tone that heat down a little bit. I'm anxious to get this, done and try it later, because I've never tried cowboy candy before made with the hot peppers or any kind of peppers. I think I would probably like it to put mostly bell pepper and mostly banana peppers in there, and maybe put just a tiny bit of the hot peppers, because, like I said, I don't like anything too extremely hot. And those habaneros alone are so hot they should be considered a lethal weapon. Get all this stuff mixed up good. It's not to a boil yet, so I've got to bring it to a boil and then let it boil or gentle simmer for about 5 minutes. Now, as you can see, I've got my canner out and I've got water in it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put mine in the canner when I get them in the jars, so I have plenty of time to use them. It'll store for at least a year or more if you can them. The original recipe, you don't have to can them. Once you sterilize your jars and let them cool, and you cook your peppers and you go to put it all in the jar, all you got to do is wipe the lid of your jar, put the lid on it, tighten it down, and let them cool. Put them in the refrigerator, and they'll keep up to 2 months. But I wanted to keep mine longer than that, so I'm going to go ahead and can them. Because I was going to give maybe a jar or so to my son, maybe at Christmas time, so I want to keep them, till then, and he'll have plenty of time to eat the cowboy candy. He won't have to sit down and eat the whole jar. Be right back. Sorry about that. I had to get me something to drink. And you don't want to let it boil or simmer any more than 5 minutes, because you don't want it to turn into syrup. I mean, you don't want it to start thickening up too bad. And so if you want to keep it for a longer shelf life than 2 months, when you get everything in your jars, just go ahead and put them in a big pot so you can cover the jars with water and boil them for at least 10 minutes if it's half pint jars. If it's pint jars the size I'm using, you let them boil in that canner for 15 minutes. And it's starting to boil, so I'm going to turn it down just a little bit, just so it simmers some, and wait 5 minutes. I never would have thought to do this with hot peppers or jalapenos. All of them are hot for me. I used to, when I was a kid, love to eat hot peppers. I could eat them with every meal and they didn't bother me. I loved it. But in my later years, I can't handle too much hot pepper anymore. That's the reason I wanted to tone them down a little bit with my bell pepper and banana peppers. It's still going to be plenty hot because there's a lot of hot peppers in there. It's probably about 75% hot pepper and 25% sweet peppers. I'm finding it very interesting on finding these recipes that I've never tried before. So you'll be getting a lot of new recipes to me and a lot of the recipes that I grew up, you know, the type of food I grew up eating. So you'll get a combination of both. Some of the recipes, even if they're new to me, you may be real familiar with. Got about another minute to go. Okay, I think I can add my peppers. Don't even want to touch them, but because I know they're hot. I'm going to stir them in there pretty good. You can see there. I've learned to try not to move my camera very much when I'm filming because sometimes I have bumped it and caused it to cut off before. Okay, once you get the peppers in there and you get it mixed up, you turn your heat back up, bring it back to a rapid boil. And then you have to simmer for another 4 minutes. Ooh, that just looks hot to me. all those red peppers and the hot peppers I know that are in there. It's almost like you can smell the heat. And as I said, if you want to take the time to remove the seed from your hot peppers, your jalapenos, that makes them not quite as hot because those seeds are hot. Sometimes I think the seeds are hotter than the pepper itself. You know what they say, a watch pot never boils. Well, I guess those peppers, even though they're hot peppers, cooled it down quite a bit. I don't know how many jars it will take, but I went ahead and got 6 of them ready. I don't think it's going to take that. It won't even probably take 4. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I wanted to have them here just in case. I'd rather have too many than not enough. And they say the longer you leave them in the jar after you fix them, the better they taste. I mean, like if you do them today and then try to eat them tomorrow, they're not going to be as good if you leave them for a month or two. If you leave them in the jar sealed for at least a month or so, they're going to taste a lot better than what they'll do like today right after you get them fixed. It's trying to boil. One thing you need to remember to do is not to pack too many in one jar because sometimes those peppers will expand. after they've cooled off and absorbed some of that vinegar. And it's kind of like they swell up. So you don't want to pack too many in there. Don't pack them at all, actually. And leave plenty of head space at the top of your jar. And make sure the peppers are completely covered in the jar with your vinegar. I think I'll do good if I've got good 2 full jars, and maybe 3, I'm not sure. Okay, I got it to a boil. So I need to let it boil or simmer for another 4 minutes. And they claim that the people that have fixed these before, if you have any leftover syrup after you completely fill your jars, don't throw that away. Put it in a jar and save it, because they say it is great to add to your barbecue sauce or marinating your briskets or any type of beef that you're going to grill out or smoke. It makes a really good sauce for those. Give that about another minute. Okay. Now, what I'm getting ready to do now is I'm going to take my slotted spoon and I will get the peppers out of the pot and start putting them in my jars. Because you want to, after you get all your peppers out, you're going to bring that liquid back to a boil. I got it up could turn it up just a tiny bit. Yeah, I'm probably only going to get two pints out of this. But that's okay, because I've never done this before. And that'll be enough that I can give my son a jar and I'll have a jar. I just don't want to fill them up too full. Go ahead and turn that back on, because you're supposed to boil it for about 6 to 7 minutes. See, I didn't know how much they would cook down just in the few minutes that you cook them. But I can tell if I have a bowl full of those peppers cut up, then it's going to give me 2 pints of Cowboy Candy. And like I said, a lot of people will put them in like half-pint jars. Some people say it's a little bit tedious to do that, and they'd rather use the larger pint jar. But anyway, the pint jars are all I had, so that's what I'm using. So that's boiling. Let it go for a few more minutes. And I don't guess I needed my big canner. I thought I would have had at least 3 jars, but I kind of overestimated what I had here. I think it's kind of pretty to have just a little bit of red in there, especially if you're going to use it as a Christmas gift, because you'll have the green and red. And I had a few of the red peppers, so I went ahead and cut them up and put them in there. I wonder how many of you have already tried Cowboy Candy. I had never heard of it until I saw my brother posted on Facebook that he had just fixed some, him and his wife, with the peppers from their garden. But he said he did the same as I. He added a lot of bell pepper in there, a sweet bell pepper, to kind of tone that heat down just a little bit. Otherwise, it might be too hot. You cannot eat it unless you really love extreme hot food. And like I said, as many hot peppers as in there, it's going to be plenty hot anyway. My daughter-in-law gave me that beautiful canner over there, that porcelain canner, and I've kept it because, you know, I wouldn't part with it for anything since she gave it to me. But she had two almost identical. They were two with, you know, they were porcelain, and they had the printed flowers and stuff on them. And I was over there one day visiting, you know, my granddaughter and her and my son, and we got to talking about canning. And all of a sudden she goes in the bedroom and she comes out carrying that canner, and she says, well, here, I got two, you can have this one. I said, well, oh my God, are you sure? I mean, it was given to you. Don't you want to keep it? She said, no, I'll you know, one is enough. She said, I'll never use two of them. So I accepted it, you know, and I've had it ever since. A couple more minutes. I just hope my battery on my phone holds out. Yeah, I've only used it a couple of times before because I really didn't get serious about gardening till about 2 years ago. I gardened off and on before that, but I really got into it big about 2 years ago, you know, as far as planting a lot more plants, vegetables, and that type of thing. And then, like I said, you know, we've had such a drought and heat and no rain this summer till I didn't have that much vegetables to do anything with, so. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn that heat off. I'm supposed to let it cool for a couple of minutes. I don't know if I'll need it, but I may need the extra jars just to put some of the liquid in to keep it. Okay, it stopped boiling, so. And then basically all you do is ladle your liquid out into your jars. And remember, we're not packing the peppers down, and we want enough liquid to completely cover the peppers. And what I need to do is just stick something down in there. And what I'm doing is just getting the air bubbles out. I'm not trying to pack the peppers down. I just want to get the air bubbles to come to the top. And if you'll stick just the handle of a spoon or anything all the way down to the bottom, that should get your air bubbles out. Put just a little bit more in there. Yeah, and see, I'm going to have some of the liquid left. Woo, it's hot. Just wiping my rims a little bit. And you see right there, I have got 2 pint jars of Cowboy Candy. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put mine in my canner. Those things are hot, so. But you can see there, that's a pretty jar. Anybody would love to get that for Christmas or any time, I'm sure. And like I said, and all I'm going to do is leave it in there for 15 minutes, take them out, let it cool, and then I can write, put my label on it, and then I can store it. And with that, I'm going to bid you a good day. And you can see right there, I've got them in my canner. Please like and share my videos, subscribe to my channel, and have a blessed day.